This is a story from India, the land of gynecocracy. For starters, marriage in India is arranged by the families. It is a union of two families than two individuals, just more women to deal with. Let's listen to his story.
Choosing to be anonymous because of ongoing legal work. Here I see so much chatter about husband's mother. I rarely saw answers about wife's mother. You don't have to live with your mother-in-law to feel the mental trauma and anguish. I had great relationship with the girl I was supposed to be married to, but it never crossed my mind to have a decent relationship with the bride's mother. I rarely spoke to her, because that is not normally something you do. I was told not to speak to my father-in-law, because he is some sort of monster, and we should avoid talking to him. For my wedding, nobody showed up on the day of wedding, except her first family. Not a single friend, relative except father-in-law, mother-in-law and bride's sibling. I should have been more alert, and should have called off the wedding. Apparently, it wasn't her religious marriage, and her family didn't approve. Further, bride didn't have any friends? I wouldn't understand that. My bride's mother asked for air tickets for her entire family. I was so against that, because why would I pay that? However, my mother lamented, and made me give them tickets. However, they specifically asked not to provide father-in-law ticket, as he would have to travel separately in train. Once we got married, my wife would randomly start behaving weird, and I had no clue, why would this be happening? Maybe mood swings, maybe she was bipolar? After marriage, I had to travel to Thailand for work, which was planned before I was even engaged. My wife would regularly lash out on the phone, to the point where I decided to switch off my phone, as it was affecting my work. When I came back from the trip, she started snooping into everything. We had to fly next day for honeymoon. After calming the situation, we went on the trip. I noticed a pattern. My wife won't talk to her mother in front of me. They would always have a private chat. My mother-in-law pretended to be a good person in front of me, but I slowly started seeing a jealousy within her. She didn't like me calling her daughter any sweet names, or touching her. Why would you marry your daughter, if you are jealous of groom? One random day, I realized that my wife's mood swings were related to call with her mother. My wife had call recorder installed in her phone. For some reason, I wanted to snoop in and listen to what was happening and why was my wife acting strange after the call. When I heard the conversation, it blew my mind. I never in my life been conned so badly. I started listening to their conversation to know more about their plans. My mother-in-law was asking daughter to create drama, get more money for her, get more jewelry and ask for more expensive stuff from my family. She wanted business class air tickets. I loved my wife, but every time there was a call with mother-in-law, I knew I wasn't dealing with my wife anymore. It was mother-in-law. For occasion of holy, wife pretended that she needed to go home, and carried lot of jewelry to her home, to show it to relatives, who never came to wedding. Once she was there, I asked her not come without her parents. As I was not willing to provide air tickets again, for her entire family, mother-in-law refused to come and help solve the problem. She sent father-in-law. When he came, it was lot of tension. Slowly, we realized he wouldn't say anything. He had no authority over the daughter. He would just ask daughter to speak, who is trained by mother on what arguments to bring out. He wasn't the monster, but rather powerless person, who was just a pawn in mother and daughter chess. I went to police station and tried to file FIR, but I was told there is no provision in law that would allow husband to file any complaint, except minor one against my wife. I at least got non-cognizable, NC, done stating that I am informing police station, that I know my wife is soon going to desert me, and file false 498A. However, Indian law has no provision to protect men from premeditated plans to take our money. I would have to fight the case, for which I have all the evidence in the world, and it wouldn't mean anything. In Indian law, I would still have to face the music of cops. I can't even display my evidence, till the charge sheet statements are taken, Hasn't happened till date after 1.5 years of ongoing case. Somehow, father-in-law got wind of everything, and came down to visit my family. To safeguard everyone, I moved with my wife to Mumbai. She got a job there. For a few months, it was random again. The pattern continued, but I kept my calm. My wife would keep asking for expensive gifts. On her birthday, I took her on a luxurious trip to Sri Lanka. When we got back, she asked me to buy latest iPhone and MacBook both. Every day, she would create ruckus, till I gave in, bought that for her. I saw my saving worth 3 years, disappearing, and alarm going off in my head. I started taking more business consignments, to get more money. For some reason, I wanted to salvage the marriage. I loved my wife. I went on business trip to Delhi. She kept calling million times, and I couldn't talk to her properly, because I was working from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., for 4 days straight. One night, I went out with friends and she demanded to know where I was. My bachelor colleagues found it funny, as how my wife kept asking million questions. I was supposed to call her, but I just fell asleep like a baby, every night. I am an early riser, and she is late sleeper. So I thought I won't disturb her in the morning, 4 a.m., when I usually wake up. On the day back, she started being abusive on the phone. I switched the phone off, as there was no point of dealing with her on the phone. When I reached home, she was cold. I ignored her for a while. Started doing my chores. She saw me in the corner of the room, and suddenly went violent on me. Created a huge drama, went to neighbors, pretended I broke her arm. Cleaned the safe, all money, passport, jewelry and everything gone. Next day, she filed police complaint for domestic violence. Somehow, for some reason, I thought it was a good idea to call my parents. I shifted to hotel that day. At police station, when we got to know what was going on and got the story straight, police knew my wife was lying, and called it on her face. They refused to register FIR. We moved her with her stuff to a hotel room, and asked her father to come and take her. She wanted me to be behind bars, on my birthday. I saw the con coming to fruition. I decided to disconnect with my wife. A month later, FIR was lodged in her hometown, illegal as per the law, but for some reason Uttar Pradesh police doesn't care.
This is happening in India. This offense, 498A, is non-bailable and can get anyone arrested, if named in the FIR. Moreover, it can only be filed by the wife. The husband is left defenseless at the mercy of the courts. If you are looking for the count of MGTOWs in India, look to the states with more divorce. If you like to hear more of these experiences, subscribe, and bang the bell. What better way to save a brother than spreading your story? Send your stories to redpill.story@gmail.com. Contribute at patreon.com/redpillstory. Cheers. See you tomorrow.